Former U.S. Ambassador to the United Nations John Bolton said on October 21st that negotiations with Iran over its alleged nuclear weapons program is an old idea that has failed, rejecting the notion that such negotiations could have any chance of success. Addressing a forum entitled Iran and the Next Administration, Bolton called the Europeans surrogate negotiators for the United States.
It has been understood from the get-go by the Europeans, by the Iranians, and by the State Department that, in effect, the Europeans were speaking for us. Negotiation with Iran is hardly a new idea. Quite the opposite. It's an old idea that has failed.
Bolton did not recommend changing negotiation tactics or strategy and believed that there is no chance that Iran is going to be talked out of its nuclear weapons. He explained that there was no price that could be paid that would induce Iran to give up those nuclear weapons. David Albright, an arms control expert and president of the Institute for Science and International Security, disagreed with Bolton's assessment that negotiations are futile and stressed to the panel that negotiations can still take place and succeed. Bolton did not offer any conclusive solutions to Iran's nuclear dossier and acknowledged that the use of military force was a deeply unattractive option, but that it is more unattractive to contemplate nuclear weapons. He suggested that were Israel to attack Iran's nuclear installations, the U.S. should assist Israel in the use of military force to make sure that it succeeds. Henry Zokolsky, executive director of the Non-Proliferation Policy Education Center, warned those who advocate a military attack on Iran's nuclear installations.
Don't bomb unless you're willing to fight a war. Bombing really has to be thought about as an all-out war.
In Zokolsky's view, since the negotiations have proven futile and since there is danger of a military attack, a Cold War is another scenario that has received very little attention.
My favorite option, and the one I recommend, is something we actually have some demonstrated success at, both on a small scale and a large scale. It's a Cold War.
Zokolsky reminded the audience that sufficient pressure succeeded in convincing the South African government to give up its nuclear weapons. He also cited the Cold War with the former Soviet Union that ultimately proved to be a successful strategy.